Hello, successful people. Welcome back to the IFI Success Channel. I'm DK.
And I'm Mo.
Thank you so much to our subscribers.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome. In today's video, we're going to show you some places where you can play games and cards while on a cruise ship.
That's right, Mo. I'm going to list some of the places where we saw people playing cards and board games while on a recent Royal Caribbean cruise ship sailing.
Let's play.
In this video, I'm going to show you places to play cards and games on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. We're going to look at some deck plans, some pictures, some video, and if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you a bonus resource. Let's go. Your ship may have a card room. When I researched Royal Caribbean cruise ships, I did not find very many that still had a separate dedicated card room. You'll see here on Oasis of the Seas, the card room is located on deck 11 in the back, which is right off of the aft elevators down a corridor. I like using this website, cruisedeckplans.com, because passengers have posted pictures. Keep in mind that sometimes those pictures might be outdated. In this case, the pictures do show the card room on deck 11 on Oasis of the Seas. I went here and went inside this card room to see for myself. This is a picture from cruisedeckplans.com somebody else posted, but this is pretty much what the room looked like. You had tables that could accommodate 2 or 4 people. You can also push the tables around, so if you have a larger group, you can reconfigure it. There weren't a lot of people in the card room when I went in there. And that cabinet you can barely see at the back of the room did have some games and puzzles there as well. One of the challenges of locating card rooms is that the deck plans and instructions aren't always accurate. This is the deck plan for deck 12 of the Oasis of the Seas. Not only does this deck plan and also the deck plan on the Royal Caribbean site show the card room here on deck 12, but so do all of the signs on the Oasis of the Seas. The pictures posted on deckplans.com shows this for what's there where the card room is supposed to be. Maybe this is what the card room used to look like when it was on deck 12. This is what I saw when I went to deck 12. And also another passenger posted this on cruisedeckplans.com. It's some type of office for a loyalty program for Royal Caribbean, but it is not the card room. The card room is on deck 11. In this situation, there is a card room shown for Allure of the Seas in pictures. However, what's on these deck plans, as well as on the Royal Caribbean website deck plans, is an escape room. Now, I researched this, and from what I can tell, there is supposed to be an escape room there instead of the card room, and that was supposed to be done during a scheduled refurbishment. And from what I could tell, that refurbishment was not done on schedule because of the COVID-19 pandemic. In order to figure out whether as of October 2025, there is still a card room or whether that's an escape room, I recommend going to a forum like Reddit or Facebook where people who have recently taken the cruise may have commented. Here are some of the pictures that were posted on cruisedeckplans.com by passengers. So apparently, if it's still there, the name of the card room is the 7 Hearts. And in most cases, whether it's a dedicated card room or not, the card room also serves as a game room. Sometimes, but not always, there are games and puzzles there in the room for you to enjoy. As you can see here in this picture, and when you go back to the picture of the Oasis of the Seas, the room is set up with tables that are large enough to accommodate people playing cards and board games, as well as adequate lighting and seating. The most common place for the card room to also be found is in the library. Almost all Royal Caribbean cruise ships have libraries, and one of the things I noticed about the placement of the library or card room is it tends to be off the beaten path. This is Deck 7 of Voyager of the Seas, and the library card room is toward the aft of the ship on a deck that doesn't really have access to a lot of other amenities, which might be okay in some situations, but not so convenient if you wanted to grab a quick snack. Here's a photo posted by a passenger. Notice that this room has a lot of books on the wall, and when Mo and I were on Voyager, there were a lot of games there as well. So while it has a lot of space and there were a lot of people playing games, that configuration isn't the best for playing games in my opinion. Here's a look at where the library is on the Mariner of the Seas. Here it's on deck 5, forward, right outside of the Star Lounge. And you'll see that deck 5 on Mariner is the Royal Promenade deck. So this particular library is located in a convenient area, nearby bathrooms and shops and places to get something to eat and coffee. So if you're there, you are not off the beaten path, and there are a good amount of Royal Caribbean cruise ships where the location of the card room library is forward and is in a location that is also convenient. Here's a look at the library in the Mariner of the Seas. I want to take you inside of here and show you something. The first thing I notice is that the library is also usually the computer room. If you rewind this video and look at the pictures of Allure of the Seas and Voyager of the Seas, you'll notice there are also computers inside of that library / card room / game room as well. This was not the case on Oasis of the Seas, as that card room did not have any computers, and neither did the library. Here's another tip that's obvious from looking at this empty cabinet. Bring your own games, puzzles, books, and cards, because when you get on the ship, you may find this. 1 or 2 games, maybe they'll have all the pieces, maybe they won't, but for the most part, the libraries do not all have well-stocked books, games, puzzles, or cards. So the best advice, bring your own. One of the interesting things about these library, card room, game room, computer room combos is that it seems like the activities don't necessarily work well together. For example, on Mariner of the Seas, whenever I went into this library, it was pin drop silent. There was maybe 1 person in it. And if you wanted to come in here with a group and play a lively game or game of cards, I can see how it would be a disturbance to anybody that came in here because you really wanted to chill. I'm going to put a link up above and in the description box to a video I did of 5 places to chill on the Oasis of the Seas. On that boat, because the library and the card room are not the same room and there's no computers in the library, you can actually go there and chill. But that is not what's happening on the overwhelming majority of Royal Caribbean cruise ships. It's one combination room just like this. If there's no card room, game room, or the library isn't working for you, check out these other places where you can play cards or games aboard a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. Bars and restaurants that have tables and chairs make some good places to play games or cards if they're not busy. This bar is on the Royal Promenade on Mariner of the Seas, but it was a slow day, so it made a good spot to stop and play some cards. As did Bolero's, which is not on the promenade on the Mariner, it's on deck 4. And because of this open seating concept of Bolero's, it made a good place for these ladies to stop and enjoy a good game of cards. Now, here's an unlikely place to find people playing cards or games. The Bamboo Room is a tiki bar that is also on the Royal Promenade on Mariner of the Seas. And when Mo and I stopped in here one late night for a drink, there was a group of people playing cards or some kind of board game at that table you see to the right, shaped like a rectangle. They were enjoying drinks and having a good time. Here's a place I also saw people playing cards on Mariner of the Seas. This Playmaker sports bar and arcade is right on the Royal Promenade across from the Cafe Promenade, and people were sitting, eating, drinking, and playing games. And speaking of Cafe Promenade, The fact that Cafe Promenade always has tables and chairs, close proximity to drinks, snacks, and restrooms makes it a popular place for people to play cards and board games. Entertainment venues that are open in between events can also make good places to play cards or board games. This is Deck 9 on Oasis of the Seas. There's a place called the Music Hall. This is a picture of the downstairs. It also has an upstairs level where there's more tables, chairs, and there's a pool table and game section in the back. If you're on a ship that has an entertainment venue such as the Star Lounge or another kind of lounge that is open in between events and also has a bar, you'll find plenty of seats and tables to be able to enjoy cards or board games. One of the issues, though, might be the size of the tables, as sometimes they tend to be small to really accommodate cocktails and not really to spread out. But if you put some tables together, or if you're in a lounge where the tables are more square-shaped, you can make it work. Last but not least, the buffet is also an alternative to a card room or a library. Every Royal Caribbean cruise ship has a buffet area where you'll find plenty of chairs, tables, and oftentimes you can put those tables together to accommodate a large group. We're at the end, and here's that bonus resource I promised you. I'll put a link in the description box to an article on my site, ironfrysuccess.com, where I made a comprehensive list for every Royal Caribbean cruise ship where you can find the library, card room, game room. Thank you for joining us. I hope this gives you some idea of where you can play cards or games on your next cruise ship sailing.
Please subscribe for more content about new home construction and model home tours in and around San Antonio.
And subscribe as we continue to give you travel tips and as we continue to turn our new construction house into a home.
As always, until next time, be peaceful, stay prayerful, and count your blessings.